You are listening to Christian Audio's production of The Power of Integrity, Building a Life Without Compromise by John Macarthur. This book is read by Tom Parks. This audio recording was produced in 2015 by Christian Audio, which owns the copyright. No portion of this recording may be reproduced for any reason without prior written consent from Christian Audio. This edition is published by Christian Audio under an agreement with Good News Publishers, Crossway Books and Bibles, based on The Power of Integrity, copyright 1997 by John Macarthur. Please visit christianaudio.com, facebook.com/christianaudio, or twitter.com/christianaudio to offer your impressions of this work and to explore additional titles. Introduction. We live in a world of compromise, in a society that has abandoned moral standards and Christian principles in favor of expediency or pragmatism. The underlying philosophy is based on accomplishing goals by whatever means are necessary. This self-centered perspective should have as its motto, "If it works for you, do it," a notion that inevitably leads to compromise of conscience and convictions. Because compromise is so prevalent in our society, you could say we no longer have a national conscience. Guilt and remorse are non-factors in determining behavior. Politicians who should be upholding the high ideals of our country instead are leading the way in compromise. They promote their lofty standards and high ideals prior to their elections, but compromise them once they are in office. The same holds true in business, from corporate executives down to salespeople. In the courts, from judges to attorneys. In sports, from owners to athletes, and in all walks of life. As a result, people learn to lie, cheat, steal, and shade the truth, to do whatever is necessary to get what they want. Thus, compromise becomes a way of life. Unfortunately, the philosophy and practice of compromise has even invaded the church. Because tolerance is the operative ideology in our society, the church adopts a similar perspective to reach the unsaved. Many churches now look for ways to give the gospel to people without offending them. Yet the very nature of the gospel is offensive, because it confronts sinners with their sin. Ignoring that, many churches willingly compromise God's word instead of standing firm on the gospel, and they give the world a watered-down version that can't affect any change. On an individual basis, the spirit of compromise hits closer to home in your personal interactions. You may have had opportunities to proclaim Christ to unbelievers, yet out of intimidation or lack of confidence, you have kept silent. Perhaps you've found yourself compromising God's word on some ethical issue at work or in your neighborhood, and convinced yourself that such compromise was necessary to maintain your credibility as an employee or neighbor. Yet your Christian testimony is predicated on your complete devotion to God's word as the highest authority, no matter what the consequences may be. God draws the elect into the kingdom through Christians who prove to be different from the world, who reveal their true allegiance by their commitment and obedience to God's standards. Our difficulty in living like that is the opposition we encounter from the world. R.C. Sproul, in his book Pleasing God, describes the pull the world has on us. The world is a seducer. It seeks to attract our attention and our devotion. It remains so close at hand, so visible, so enticing, it eclipses our view of heaven. What is seen vies for our attention. It entices our eyes lest we look up for a better country whose builder and maker is God. It pleases us, much of the time anyway, and alas, we often live our lives to please it. And that is where conflict ensues, for pleasing the world so seldom overlaps with pleasing God. The divine call we receive is this: do not be conformed to this world, Romans chapter 12, verse 2. But the world wants us to be partners with it. We are urged to participate in the fullness of it. It presses upon us with the ultimate peer pressure. The church is now so adept at compromising with the world that it has forgotten how to be uncompromising. That's because we readily accept the world's value systems and indulge ourselves in them to the point that we personalize them.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?